All right, I'm gonna try it one more time. It's a little bit of delay. Can y'all hear me? Tap it, tap, 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 tap. Put it in there. You're coming through loud and clear. All right, I'm like all these things. All right, so let's rock and roll. Hello again, everybody. I appreciate it. No, you don't have to go out and come back in. Again, this is what happens. This is live, right? This is how it goes down. All right. So listen, if this is your first time that you've ever participated in any of my trainings, do me a favor and type in the chat first timer. Also, do me a favor. Let me know where you are tuning in from. I always love to know where you're tuning in from. Do me a favor and let us know what it is that you do. What services do you provide? What do you do for a living? All right. You never know who you can connect with on this particular training. You never know who you can connect with on this training. So don't be shy. Be sure to, check in. So I see Texas. I see Andre. I think that's Andre. That's weird because there's no last name. So I see like abbreviation. All right. So y'all, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to first timer. Hey, Hope. I'm going to share my screen. And India. Now, oh, that's my Sandra. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me share the screen first. I can see the chat there. Oh, I know what. Glenda from North Carolina. What's going on? This is how you do it. Bingo. All right. Share. Presentation. Window. Y'all don't be laughing at me. From Florida. There you go. Share. All right. Let me put my little moderator computer. I'm going to have to trim this video up. I already know it. I should get my glasses. Everything is on Do Not Disturb. I got my little clicker. Y'all, I ain't playing around. All right. So y'all should be able to still see me. So all right, so real quick before I start training, because I am going to cut this video up so that it kind of starts right here. So I got Latoya. What's going on? Latoya is in Dallas, business strategist specializing in course creation. Deborah, Florida. I help introverted career women learn how to leverage their intro. You're not playing with us today? Introverted career women learn how to leverage their introversion and elevate. Tracy, LA. I help business owners to build business credit and help how to get funding. Hey girl, welcome to the chat. We love to have, individuals that talk about funding. All right. So Tina, CEO, Black to Black Magazine and Black to Black Consulting. First timer, Rosalind from Mississippi, divorce recovery. Glenda from North Carolina, Sandra. Yes, it's me. And then another first timer, Hope, of course. All right. So again, welcome everybody. So glad that you guys are here. I know there's a lot of people that were not able to participate, and that is totally fine. If you are in the building, you are meant to be here. I am excited. It's been a very long time since I've been able to train. So I am going to talk to you about how you can use virtual trainings, masterclass, boot camps, webinars, how you can use them to actually grow and scale your business. And y'all, we've been implementing some new stuff. So I'm excited. And all right, well, we just gonna keep it going. Can we y'all ready to just roll on? All right, so listen, I think this is the first live. So it's funny, I was just talking to our tribe members. So do me a favor, if you are a tribe member, type in the chat, tribe. I know some of them wanted to 10, so I want to see who is in the tribe. Type tribe in the chat. I was just telling them, listen, I don't play around when it's time to do my presentation. I be having my clicker. Do y'all, anybody else use a clicker when y'all at home? I have my clicker. All right, so listen, you're in the right place if you are tired of like monetizing or going live on all the platforms and you're not really making any money. I get it. I understand. If you are ready to monetize your message, if you're ready to make money from your message, if you are not sure how to pitch your core offer, how many of you are unsure of how to position your signature offer? How many of you, and I don't know if Rose is on here, but this is a great part where we can create a poll. So I'm gonna do it this time, but you know, I love polls. So have you ever hosted a webinar? We're gonna say yes, and we're gonna say no. So I'm gonna display the poll. So you guys should be able to see the poll. That's the one thing that I did not do was put it on the screen so that I can see how you guys are seeing it. But I do want you to, answer the poll if you can see the poll. But I'd love to know how many of you have hosted a webinar before, and how many of you this is your first time. You're like, no, I've never hosted a webinar before. And so again, if you're not meeting your revenue goals, and there's so many people that have come into my space and come into the tribe that they're trying to launch their webinar by the end of like, oh, you don't see the poll? Display the poll, publish. There you go. You should see it. I don't know where. There it is. I see somebody answered it now. So it's all right. Perfect. All right. So 50-50, 60-40. Yeah, girl, you got to hit the button. So I haven't used this software in a long time, but I wanted to test it out. I love it. 70-30. Can we get an 80-20? No, I'm just playing. 62-37. So 37% never hosted a webinar. 62% have hosted a webinar. And we probably don't have everyone. So some of the answers are still coming in. Okay, that's not bad. 66-33. It's not bad. All right, so look. Regardless if you have hosted a webinar before, regardless if you are like just starting to launch your signature program, I am going to teach you some things. I'm going to say that it's going to blow your mind. And by the end of this training, if it doesn't blow your mind, inbox me and let me know. I want to know, like, seriously, you're not going to hurt my I've been doing this a long time. You're not going to hurt my feelings. So I'm going to show you, number one, how to generate 120 leads in 30 days. I literally promoted this webinar for about 6 hours. I didn't even do 24 hours today. And I think the last time I checked, Rose, how many did we have? It was about 51, and we maxed it out at 50. So it's about 51 the last time I checked. So Rose, I don't know if you're on. I know you're on, I think. 6 hours, y'all. And I tell my students, y'all do 7 to 14 days. Don't do no 6 hours and 24 hours like DeKesha. Don't do what I do. Do what I teach you to do. And I'm teaching you to do it that way. Okay. I'm teaching you to do it that way for a reason. So how many of you believe that you will get paid for what you know more than what you do? Knowledge is the new currency. People will pay you. So like I saw out here that there is a young lady who does leadership development coaching. Deborah, is that Severin? Nope, that ain't Deborah Severin because that's in Florida. I was about to say Latoya. I ain't seen that name in a long time. So Tracy helps people get funding. What people don't realize is that people will pay to shorten the learning curve when it's information and when they see value. Now, however, if you've been around me, you already know I'm gonna put you to work. And if you're not willing to do the work, you might as well go ahead and log off. I'm not trying to be funny, but I teach a formula and I teach a system, and I know that the system will work if you work the system. We had a mastermind meeting this Monday. One of the first things that one of our mastermind members actually, she shared, she's like, before you even get to start training, D, let me share with you. She calls it the Get Ish Done Hub. That's our membership area. I like that. Y'all like that? The Get Ish Done Hub. Y'all see my shirt? And she said, I went in a hub and I started watching the videos. She said that first training that we did on the profitable presentation, she went in and started to change her current webinar presentation, and she lined it up the exact same way that I taught it. She came back to class, and this was her first sale from her presentation. Y'all show some love, some hearts in the chat for Candace. And that was after 1 week of participating. So I say that to say that the system works if you work it. So by the end of this training, I'm going to show you how to increase your revenue using virtual events. I don't care if it's a masterclass, a boot camp, it's an intensive, if it's a traditional webinar. Here's what I will ask you. Allow me the next 30 minutes. I'm going to try to do this in the next 30 minutes. Somebody hold me to that. And I would love to have your undivided attention, because this is, if you are new to the digital space or digital, online space, online coaching and consultant, there are going to be some things where you actually might have to watch this replay. So if I can have your undivided attention, I would love to have that. So there are some of you, this is the first time that you are hearing the sounds of my voice. My name is DeKesha Williams, the webinar strategist, or the webinar queen, as they call me. Webinars are the number one way that I build my list and created a lifestyle business. All right. So I'm just the chick that lost the same job twice, building a successful business from the comfort of my home. I actually started my business from this particular office, and I've been watching my kids get on and off the bus for, I think it's 1,288 days, but who's counting? So I've been doing this for a little bit over, 12 years now. And so August 24th, 2011, I went on leave of absence. I'm still on leave of absence. Somebody type in the chat, hashtag longest leave ever. Yep, I'm still on leave of absence. But here's what I know. I had no idea that I was going to be an entrepreneur, none whatsoever. But I did know that I wanted to be present for my children. My mother worked in the manufacturing industry. So she worked shift work. So she worked 8 to 4, 4 to 12, 12 to 8. So for 13 years, I was staying with the babysitter. And so that was, she did the best that she could do with what she had. But that I wanted to be available for my kids. Like, I wanted to be able to see them when they got on the bus, see them when they got off the bus. Let my daughter tell that mom was here for everything, right? But being a webinar strategist has allowed me to be available for all of their sporting events. Hashtag Team Jaden. Number 44. Y'all can't see the little red light. Yeah, I got my little red light, y'all. But number 44. And so he's threatening to change his number this year. And then we have my baby girl who's going to be 23. And so if you've ever seen me, most of the time when I'm training, I don't have a voice, because either I've been at the football game or I've been in a gymnastics meet yelling and screaming for one of them or both of them. Okay. So this was 2022. She was actually the Eagle champion of her entire conference for 2022. So shout out to my baby girl. And Jaden, my nephew, this is what I live for, you guys. Being able to take them and have week-long vacations, being able to take them on experiences. How many of you all would love for your business to continue to run while you are out, as the old folks would say, gallivanting? Is that right, y'all? Lord, don't let me tell my age. But no, seriously, how many of you would love to have a business that's still running and you may actually work like in front of your computer maybe 2 days a week? Most of you guys know we do mastermind on Mondays, and then I do coaching on Tuesdays. The rest of the week, I'm doing sales calls. I'm doing business development. And so that's what I'm here for. I am here to show you how to create a lifestyle business. Webinars just happen to be the tool that we use in order to get there. So some may say, Tina, that's your goal, right? Some may say, how in the world, did you get started using webinars, right? So the truth of the matter is, I was working with a team back in 2014, 2015, and it was my responsibility to teach this exact screenshot. I know y'all probably already took a screenshot, but I used to teach this step by step by step And I would walk them through, like, since I think 61% of you all have done webinars, 38% of you have not done a webinar, right? So typically, like when you register for this, there's a webinar registration page. Some of you may have seen the thank you page. Right now, you're viewing the webinar viewing page, right? And sometimes there is a sales page, or there is an opportunity to book a call, right? That's an actual webinar funnel. And so what I used to do is I used to teach people how to make 6 figures from a webinar funnel. Somebody type in the chat, 6 figures. How many of you want to make 6 figures from a webinar funnel? All right. So let me show you how it's possible. So the blue numbers are the yearly numbers. So they might seem a little bit larger, but those are yearly numbers. And so if you break it down, you know, by 12 months, the kind of like the pinkish, kind of pink. The pinkish is the monthly goal. And then this little, I call it mauve, is your weekly goal. All right. So let's just say that you're driving traffic and you're going to drive 100,000 page views. And so you could be using organic, you can use paid, or you can use joint ventures. 3 different ways that you can drive traffic. And so let's just say over a year, you have 100,000 visits. Well, 10% are going to opt in. And actually, this is very generous. The numbers are more like 30 and 40% opt-in rate. But I like even numbers. So we're just going to say 10%. So that's 10,000 page views that actually see your webinar registration page. Now, do we know that everyone that lands on it is not going to opt in, right? We got that part. And so about 10% is going to show. And this is just for the sake of this exercise, because your show rate is going to be anywhere between 20 and 30% or 40 to 50%. And with the way that we do, oh, Rose, can you send out a text message that says we're live? So the way that we do it, we use SMS to get us to 40 to 50%. Because I don't know if we sent out a reminder via text, right? We didn't. And so normally we send out a reminder via text. We use the YOC systems in order to send out our text messages and our emails. And so like she's getting ready to go send out a text. So we're going to increase, we're going to automatically see the numbers increase, because some people may have forgotten, right? But that's one of my tricks. Write that down. Use SMS to increase your show rate. Because right now we have like a standard 20 to 30% show rate. But when we send out that SMS, it kicks up to 40 to 50% every single time. So let's just say 1,000 people show up over a 12-month period. That's 100 people. If you close at 10%, does anybody know what their closing rate is? And some of you may have never done sales, so you may not know. If you don't know your closing ratio, say I don't know in the chat. And this is not to shame you, all right? This is just to get to know where you are and how I can help you, all right? So if you have a generous 10% closing rate, you can close out of the 1,000 people in 12 month period. You can close 100 people. Watch this, y'all. This is the part that blows my mind. 100 people averaging $1,000 sales. Can somebody put in the chat what that is equivalent to? 100 people averaging $1,000 sale. Sandra says she has a 30%. That's what I'm talking about. Mine is about 33% too on sales calls. It's about 45% for live events. Gold stuff. I love it. So real quick, 100 people averaging $1,000. That's $100,000, right? So if you can close 10% of 1,000, which is 100, and your average price point is $1,000, there's your $100,000. All right. So you're like, well, DeKesha, that's a whole lot of people. That's 100 people. That's a whole lot of people. Yes, y'all sound like this. How y'all sound when I be talking to y'all. So if you break it down and say, okay, every month I'm going to do 2 webinars. And every month that I do 2 webinars, I need 833 leads, right? I need 833 opt-ins. Well, 10% of them are going to show. That's 83 people. Does anybody remember where I capped this webinar registration off at? Does anyone remember? I capped it off at 50. Look I could have capped it off at 100 and just boom, done with it, right? Yeah, so $100,000. So if you do one webinar a month and you cap it at 83 people, that number is wrong. And you close 10% is not 10,000. So y'all see there's typos. All right. It actually should be 10. So I like to round up. So that should be 10 people. You close 10 people a month. So 8, actually it should be 8. I mean, if you want to be technical or literal about it. So 83 times 10% is like 8.3. And so even if you did that, that's $8,000. I rounded it up to 10. So that's still what? 10,000. Oh, that's why it's 10,000. I put the answer up there. It's $10,000, right? So yeah, I capped it off at 50. All right. So for those people that are like, oh my God, I can't get 83 people on one webinar. What if you committed to do one webinar a week? Can you make the commitment to do one webinar a week? Say, I make the commitment. Y'all know I'm going to hold you accountable. I want you to type in the chat. I'm committed. I'm going to hold you accountable. Y'all said y'all wanted to show up for accountability. I'm going to hold you accountable. All right. So one webinar a week. You can do it every Monday, every Sunday, every Thursday. I really don't care because it all depends on your audience level, where, what your audience is. Andre, you committed, my dog. And that, listen, 20 people. So for me, I'm going to use me as example. I can do mine every 2 weeks if I'm capping it at 50. Boom, I'm still getting my 100 a month, y'all. You see where I'm going? Right? But for my people that might be just starting out, if you capped it at 20 a week, y'all can do 20 a week. I actually have a method where I show you, and we use this method today. So for my tribe members, I'm going to do a video to show you how we were able to get over 50 registrations in 6 hours. Because I literally woke up this morning and started promoting this webinar. I didn't even promote it this week. Like, who was on the meeting on Monday and I said, y'all going to see this webinar again? Anybody here that was on the meeting on Monday, right? I'm doing a video and I'm going to show you exactly what I did to get those 51, the last time I checked, registrations. And it's the exact same technique that I show you all to do to get 20 people to register for your webinar every single time. All right. So let's just say you got your 20 people. If your price point is $1,000, you can, Sandra, you can do 2 closes a week. Andre, I know you probably can close more than that. Deborah, you can close 2 people a week. Latoya, I know you can do more than that. See, some of y'all I know. So your goal is going to be a little bit higher. But 2 people a week is $2,000 a week. Come on. Y'all got this, right? But this is what I used to teach. And here's the thing about it. I believe it now, but when I was teaching it, I wasn't making that kind of money. So I didn't believe in the system. So what I did, a colleague and I, we did 8 webinars in 30 days, and I made $15,000 in commission in 21 days. I said commission. That's when the light bulb went off, and I said, this thing actually works. So what I did was I created the webinar challenge. It was a 5-day webinar challenge. I did a lesson every day for 5 days. On the last day, we did an actual webinar presentation that they had to register. This is how I was able to build my email list and my SMS database. It's all based on these techniques. The first time that I sold WSB, Webinar Success Blueprint, I sold it for $10,000. I mean, we generated $10,000. I probably had less than 80 people in my challenge, and I was not running ads. Okay. The next time we did it, we did a rinse and repeat, right? We did a rinse and repeat. When we did that rinse and repeat, I think I sold it for $697 or $797, and we had a VIP level for $1497. We ended up doing $24,000, and I was pissed because I ain't make $25,000, right? But it's all good. So the following launch, I did it, and then I layered it with a speaking opportunity. So do you realize that you can be in the middle of a launch? You could host a webinar, you could host a virtual training, and then you can have a speaking engagement that weekend, and you can make the same offer and enroll people into the same course, curriculum, training, or whatever you're doing, and still include that number in your launch. So when we did that, we did $35,000. So this was in a matter of 7 months. I want you to write in your notes $69,000 in 7 months. And I know that the name of this training is How to Generate 25K in 90 days or less. Think about it. If you do a webinar every 2 weeks and you get, 50 people on there, and you close five times 1,000 is 5,000 times 2 is $10,000 a month. If you do it again, that is what? $20,000, right? So, I mean, you increase your sales conversion. There's your 25. Well, actually, if you do the same concept again, the following month, that's $30,000 in 90 days. That's $30,000 in 90 days. Do y'all get it? Do you see the formula? Type yes if you see the formula. If you see where I'm going with this. And here's what I need you to do. Because there's a lot of times we make this mistake that, well, I got this program, and I got this program, and I got this program, and I got this program. I tell people one program will change your life if you let it. So what is your strategy to get 20 to 50 people per webinar? So I actually teach it in our monthly membership. But I'm going to tell you like this. You have to use all available, mediums. So paid traffic, organic traffic, and joint venture traffic. But I'll be teaching like the exact step-by-step of what I did to do my registrations. And Andre, I feel like you've invested before. So I feel like it may not have been a part of that program. But yeah, but it's basically 3 things. It's paid traffic, organic traffic, and then it's joint venture traffic. So today's was a mix of paid and organic, but I have a system that I show them to get, 10 people, 10 people, 10 people, there's your 30 people, or 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, there's your 50 people. So one program will change your life if you let it. So again, webinars has been the number one way that I built my list and created a lifestyle business. Really doesn't matter what industry you're in. I feel like it's up to you to educate your end user. So we have people that do financing. We have people that do real estate, coaching, strategy. All of these industries are educating your prospective client on why they need to work with you. I mean, it's just as simple as that. You're educating them on why they need to work with you. So when you identify that this is your opportunity to speak to more people at one time, and this is the vehicle that transforms a potential client into a paid client, when you understand the value of, this platform, your revenue and profits will increase. Because sometimes what we do is we spend our time trying to do one-on-one sales conversation. How many of you right now are doing one-on-one sales conversation? So you can invite those prospective clients to come to a live training, right? And you can do a facilitation, you can do a live training, and then you can extend the offer at the end. Whereas now you don't have to do 20 one-on-one conversations. Hey, Christy, you can actually get 20 people every week to say, listen, I'm going to be doing a live training about what you told me you're struggling with. And then I'll share with you how we can work together. Is that okay with you guys? Literally, there's your script. I hope you wrote it down. All right, so here's the most important piece. So Andre asked a very great question. What's the secret to getting 20 to 50 people? You have to build a tribe of people who are waiting to hear content that you're teaching, right? That's a game-changing idea. You're welcome, Hope. I love it. I love it. At least Hope is satisfied. Now, so listen, because a lot of times people, when they come into the program, they're like, well, I want to do a training. I want to do a master class, right? But I don't have an audience. So you have to build an audience. This is one of the reasons why we started to teach the content marketing intensive on a consistent basis, because we teach the formula that helps you build your tribe, and it helps them raise their hand of your ideal clients who are willing and able to work with you. And that's the reason why your tribe is relevant. It's because when you build an audience of people who have the problem that you solve, they're going to be, there has been people that have come into, that's Dr. Christie. There's been people who come into my space that like binge watch either the videos in my private Facebook group, they binge watch the YouTube videos, then they invest. Sometimes they don't even make it to a webinar, or they make it to a evergreen webinar. Excuse me. So what I do is I'm big on creating noise that rises above the competition. So how many of you all have heard me say Zoom is not a webinar platform, right? That's me creating noise. That's me being disruptive. Like, I want y'all to pay attention. So most people that come into my space, they'll be like, well, Coach D, like, what platform should I use? Right? They always asking, what platform should I use? Because I know you don't like Zoom, but I have said it so much, it's ingrained in their head. Coach D don't like Zoom, right? And so then you have those that use live stream, right? So you use live stream, and then you're trying to sell from your live stream. So there's a couple of things with the whole live stream thing. And I use live stream for awareness. I want you to write this down. I use live stream for awareness, and I use webinars for conversion. When I do live streams, there's no guarantee that I will know who's watching this. I don't know if that actually muted, but I didn't want to cough in y'all ear. Even when I do LinkedIn Live, unless they engage with the content, we really don't know who's watching. That is why I love to use a webinar platform, because you have to register to get access to the information. Even if you can't stay the whole time and you have to come back and actually watch the replay, okay? That's fine. So what I do is when I do conduct a live video, I always use a CTA for a lead generation tool. Write this nugget down. Your CTA can be an invitation to your free masterclass. Write that down. Your CTA, when you go live, can be an invitation to your masterclass. So here are some examples of some content that I use in order to make noise online. This is Ecamm. I think this is Ecamm. I'm iced out in the Trinity gear, right? But Zoom is not a webinar platform. 934 views, and I don't think that's an ad. I ain't doing no ad on that. I can't remember. I don't think so. But notice I have the link in the bottom in my chat. There's another call to action, text me software, and then there's a call to action on the screen. Normally I have one call to action, but I think one of those videos, I think one of the texts was a gift to something. So I love to have them text in. Here's another one. Anyone on Clubhouse, or used to be on Clubhouse? So when Clubhouse was big, I did a step-by-step video on how I generated $20,000 in 14 days on the new social app Clubhouse, right? This, again, over 147 people were commenting on it. And I had a call to action called DeKesha.com, which actually still works. So this content is still living out here, and that URL. So buy you some vanity URLs, y'all. And then there's the written piece. This one gets a lot of engagement as well. And this is all organic, y'all. This one gets a lot of engagement. I pissed some people off that day. LaToya probably remembers this one. But it tells you why you should not use Zoom as a webinar platform. So like even using this particular platform, I can see how many people registered, how many people are here live out of how many people registered. I'll be able to go back and see, where people fell off. I'll go back and see how many people watch the replay, all that kind of stuff. And if you read this, it explains to you why understanding your numbers is very important in business. And I want you to write this down. What gets measured gets managed. What gets measured gets managed. Excuse me. All right. All right. So, okay. So for those of you all that are like, oh my God, I don't want to do video. I look terrible. Y'all, these are some of my first videos from probably 4 or 5 years ago, probably 5 years ago now. And I was talking about all kinds of stuff. I was talking about lack of communication and damage your organization. I did a video shoot on my photo shoot, outsourcing, income instability. What gets managed gets you money, right? So, I mean, you got to start where you are, and, don't be afraid to start where you are. We've all started where, look at me. That was my dining room. I was doing video in my dining room. Hair was fuzzy in the summertime, but anyway, let's hurry up and go past this screen. So here's what, so for my people that have never done a webinar, let's do a new poll. Let's start a new poll. Are you familiar with funnels? Yes. No. Maybe I should have said, do you have a funnel? Anyway, we're going to put it up here, right? Are you familiar with funnels? Do you know what a funnel is? Do you have a funnel? Yes or no? So I call it your ecosystem, right? So it is your own ecosystem. People are coming into your space to work with you. So it's a step-by-step process. So you have to do things to create awareness for your brand. All right. That's what's going to help you build a tribe. So what are you doing consistently? I think now we have a training. It's over 35 things that we do to promote our upcoming masterclass and our upcoming webinars. But it's all in awareness. That's marketing. That's really what it is. What are you doing to market yourself and market your brand? Oh, the 80-20 rule. And then it's the consideration. So as you are marketing yourself, what is your call to action to build your email list? So for those of you all that are still, that are participating, how many of you have an email list? And I want you to type in the chat how many people are on your email list, because that's the consideration phase. So then there's engagement. So I have a Facebook group for my engagement. I go in there, I share valuable information. Sometimes I do videos. Sometimes I write, posts. I think the other day I shared like 10 ideas. I think it was like 10 ideas on a lead generation tool. That's exactly what it was. Then you have to have a conversion mechanism. You have to have a platform where you can ask for the sale, right? It could be a sales call. It could be a webinar. It could be a live event. It could be a 2-hour masterclass. It could be a 4-hour masterclass. Dr. Christy says she don't have an email list. So see, Dr. Christy, your awareness is going to be what's super important for you. And I think you just signed up for the tribe. So you'll find out about our content marketing intensive. That's going to be important for you so you can build your audience. And so you build your audience, you build your list, and then you are able to invite people to your webinar to sell your program. And so, one of the things that we do in our intensive coaching is we teach you how to accelerate that process. Organic can be a slow process. And so one of the things that we do is every month, and then we monitor the progression every week on our coaching calls, how to accelerate, what does accelerating that process look like? Okay. And then some people drop the ball on the delivery. What does their delivery look like? So right now we still got about 87%, 12%. Yes, got my list started in December as a year-end goal, about 100 people, less than 100 now. No email list, don't have one yet. Also, what equipment is needed to do a webinar? Ring light. That's a great question. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you do not need this. So I have my PowerPoint on this particular computer. I have a screen over here that shows me kind of the back office, but I do have a moderator that's helping me on this. I'm actually using Webinar Jam, which is a webinar software. I always love to test out different webinar softwares because people ask me all the time, what software do you use? Now, it just so happened, did I just get darker? Oh, no. So it just so happens, Dr. Christy, that I do have a ring light. I do not remember the size of it, but it's a pretty decent, ring light. Got the little remote control with it. Get brighter. Look at that. It gets super bright. Is that too bright? That's real bright. I like it though. So that's my ring light. It does have like 3 adapters. I can give you the Amazon link. But for real, y'all, I didn't have all this stuff when I got started. I had Google Hangout when I got started doing my webinars. Why did you move from Easy Webinar? Because they went up on their price, and they keep going. They're going up on their price. And then I'm looking to have my own system where we can put evergreen webinars in my own system for my clients, where we can cut that cost. And in that system, I can tag them based on what percentage of the webinar they have watched. And so that's why I'm not using Easy Webinar right now. I still have my account. Like I still have webinars in that system. But I always like to use different systems. And there's another one. I mean, I'll probably use another one really soon until I kind of like, okay, I jam with this one. So that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. And so again, the delivery part. So these are some different types of strategies that you can use to create awareness in your business. You can do live streams. You can go live on pretty much every platform now, but remember, always have a call to action. You can do podcasts. You can be a guest on podcasts. You can do blog posts. We're going back to doing blog posts now. You can write a book. I've got 2. Actually, I got like 3 or 4. But 2 that are right here with me. So I wrote 40 ways to generate revenue in your business. You should grab a copy. And then we did the Out of the Shadows as a collaboration book. Oh, we have the Raising the Entrepreneur Guide to Motherhood and Entrepreneurship. That's going to release as soon as all of our authors submit. No shade. So books are a huge awareness strategy, as a business card. Here are some examples of how to get people on your email list. You can do like free offers and then do an email sequence. I like to use education-based marketing strategies where I'm educating my audience and then giving them a CTA. So for an example, I do training in my Facebook group. So it's only in my Facebook group. My iPad is activated by my face. And then there's telesummits. I used to do summits every single quarter. Rose, could you help? Rose, can you help Sandra Ingram? She didn't get the link to the actual webinar. I used to do telesummits every quarter as a lead generation tool. We built our list of over 3,000 email addresses in a very short period just from doing telesummits. You can do a webinar as a lead generation strategy. Like you can do a webinar and do a call to action just to have a conversation with you. I've done video series. So we're actually doing something new. It's called the 5-Day Accelerator. It's actually a 5-day video series that we're going to be launching very soon. So those are some things that you can do in order to get people on your list. And then if you want to convert them into your actual products, your courses, webinars, live events, workshops, intensives, things. These are the things that will actually help you convert and get more sales. Is this helping you so far? Yes or yes? I'm trying to keep on time. So what I call this is your path to profits. And so a lot of times people don't understand that this is a process and it's not something that happens overnight. It's the awareness, consideration, and conversion or decision stage. All right. So again, in the awareness stage, I always say that you have to make your audience give your information their complete attention. I call it magic. That's like my Zoom is not a webinar platform. I get people's attention when I do that. The other way that you're going to create a connection with your audience is show up as your authentic self. Share your journey, share your trials, and share your tribulations, and share your wins. A lot of times we see people on social media, they're always sharing their damn wins. I'm sorry. But I'm going to share as it happens. I'm going to share that, I got on the webinar today and for about 5 to 7 minutes, they couldn't hear me, right? Because I don't want people to think that every time that just because I'm the webinar queen, that it's going to go smooth, right? No, it's not. And then I'm going to share relevant information that relates to you. And I love to share statistics. how did we start out this training? I showed you some conversion, some conversion percentages. I showed you some statistics that you need to know so that you know how to gauge whether or not you're being successful on this journey. And so in the consideration phase, which is like phase 2, these 3 E's for impact. It's your ecosystem. You got to engage, and then you got to encourage them to buy. Watch this. You must build it as you go. So I showed you the ecosystem. You've already seen that. You probably got a screenshot. This is a quick screenshot of the webinar funnel that I built. It took me 4 years to build this. So if you remember at the beginning of this training, it keeps it real and makes you more relatable. Absolutely. That's how people connect with you, really. So this is the funnel that I built. It took me a very long time to build, but this is the funnel that generated $60-something thousand in 21 days, right? So we did the webinar checklist, which we still have to this day. And there's an email sequence that comes after it. We used to do the webinar challenge and the challenge sequence, and then we invite them to a webinar. You can kind of follow along on the screen. We invited you to Webinar Success Blueprint. Y'all, this is actually a funnel. Like, it's a business model. And you'll see the attraction phase, the nurturing phase, and the conversion phase. Like, it's a business model. I highly suggest you take a damn screenshot if you ask me. I'm just saying. And so then engage. Well, a lot of people say, well, it's hard to get people to convert into my programs. I feel like I'm pulling teeth. Let me explain to you why you feel like you're pulling teeth. Most of you all are trying to promote to the 3% of the people online that's already willing and able to buy. And so these are the people that respond immediately to ads. Like, I'm a buyer. If you put an ad in front of me, that's you took a screenshot. If you put an ad in front of me and it's going to ask for to purchase a credit card, I'm that person. Like, I'm that person. I'm the 3%. But right now, based on how many people are here, if I were to pitch something to you, 3% would buy right now. 7% would be open to it. 30% of you right now had heard of webinars, never thought that it would work for you, hadn't really thought about doing it in your business. But as you've become connected to me, the light has gone off like, oh, I never really thought about it like that. Did that light bulb go off for anybody? And I can go back, I can go back and see where I think Hope said, wait, that makes a lot of sense. That's a game-changing idea. That falls into that 30% of, wait, I didn't even think about it, right? And so then you have the 30% of people that don't really think that webinars can work for them. But once we have a conversation and I show them how they can use a weekly executive roundtable to invite corporate people to in order to sell a corporate level product, they go, aha, I ain't even think about it. Well, it's still a presentation. So once you look at the 30, 30, and the 7, that's the 67% of the people that you need to be marketing to. Let me say that one again. That one is important. That the 67% of the people that you should be marketing to, that's where the content marketing strategy comes into place and where your marketing message becomes important. So Keisha Bass has been with me for quite a while. We talk every day at this point now and built a relationship, right? But before working with DeKesha, she was looking for a structured launch methodology for her business and her program, Rock Your YouTube. It was sitting on the shelf, getting no love. But after she joined the Webinar Success Blueprint program, she was able to launch her course online for the first time with over 350 people registered for her first webinar. And because of the results and the formula that she used, she was able to generate over $5,000 from launching one program. Somebody say one program will change your life if you let it. So real quickly, as we end this training for today, I'm going to walk you through the formula that I use with anyone who comes into my space. All right. So I teach you how to prospect. That basically means how to find your ideal client. For the people that say it's hard for me to find people that want to work with me, it's because you're posting, I'm having an event. I'm having an event. Come to my event. How many of y'all do that? Don't be ashamed. You have to promote the problem and serve as the solution. Promote the problem, service the solution. And I literally teach this formula of how you formulate the pain points and you create content based off of that. So I want you to remember, you promote the problem, service the solution. All right. This is how you're going to find your ideal client. But you have to be able to understand what is keeping them up at night. And I like to say, if I was having a conversation and my girlfriend says, hey, D, like, how's business going, girl? It's going. But whatever I finish that sentence with is the problem that I'm having. It's my 2 a.m. problem. So what is it that they would say to their business bestie or, good girlfriend, good guy friend, they partners or what have you, right? And so once you identify that, you can craft a marketing message that speaks directly to their problem. So they'll start to raise their hand and say, you know what? I want to work with you, DeKesha. And then you position the webinar to address the problem and you position the solution. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? You use your live virtual event to address the problem that they're having, and then you position a solution in front of them. Got it? So we used to do the webinar challenge. And so Rob Youngblood actually participated in the webinar challenge. On day 3, I taught him how to use positioning questions on his Facebook page. He's the LinkedIn locksmith. Out of his 25 responses, he was able to get on the phone with 3 people in one day, and they all requested proposals for programs totaling over $9,000. That was all on LinkedIn and Facebook, okay? It works if you work it. So then you have the resolution. What problem do you solve? Yes. So do you have a coaching program? Do you have a course? Do you have a mastermind? Do you have an intensive? Once you know what their problems are, you have to create a solution that solves their problem. It could be a course. It could be, it could be a live intensive. Some of our clients are doing a 6-week program. Some of them are doing an 8-week program. But listen, you do not have to have the course completely created before you make money. When I taught Webinar Success Blueprint for the first time, I actually sold the course and taught the course live. And I do it all the time. So sell it, then service it. I want you to write that down. Sell it, then service it. Dr. Christy, keep a bottle of water with you too when you're doing your training because you're talking a lot, so you need to drink. Here's an example of someone who did not have a course created. So Monifa Groover was in our Get It Done coaching program. She was always resistant to webinars, but she wanted to see if she could create another level of breakthrough in her business. I remember Monifa was actually going to do a speaking engagement and she was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to talk about? I said, use your webinar presentation. It's your signature presentation. Well, what am I going to sell? Offer them to do like a one-on-one conversation with them and sell like a one-on-one coaching. You don't have your coaching program as a group, but that doesn't mean you can't work with them one-on-one until you get 3 to 5 people and you can put them in a group. You picking up what I'm putting down? Got it? So after joining Get It Done coaching program, thanks, Andre. After joining the Get It Done coaching program, she was able to step outside of her comfort zone. She launched her first webinar, and because of these results, she was able to close her first client. And let's just say it's the most money she's ever made. She was actually on 2 of my summits, and both times she was on my summit, she brought home over $3,500. She automatically made her money back. Okay. So it works if you work it. You just got to follow the process. So then optimize. Optimize is basically, where are you going to share your message? Are you going to do you want to do a masterclass? Do you want to do a webinar? A masterclass ain't nothing but a 2-hour, 4-hour, live training session. So which one would you want to do? I want you to type it in chat. Webinar, masterclass, 2-hour event, 4-hour event. Which one sounds like it would work for you? Because you don't have to do like your 60-minute traditional webinar. Okay. The process is the same. But here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to see you, Latoya. I don't want you to wait for somebody to ask you to be on their stage. I want you to build your own stage and create a space where people are coming to hear your expertise. I want you to create a space where people are coming to hear you. You registered to come and participate because you knew that I was going to talk about how to generate 100 leads in 30 days, how to make 20K in 90 days, how to use webinars when you don't need, you don't have money for ads. That's why you showed up. So here's what I need you to understand. As you're going through this process, you're going to use the webinar to build your list of people that's waiting to work with you. Based on the people that register, 30 to 40% will show up and become prospective clients. So out of all the people that register today, 30 to 40% are either been on my list, are going to be on my list, and at some point are going to become a client. Here's where you webinar. Okay, good. Sandra's like, yep, I'm doing my webinar. So here's where you really get focusing on the messaging. You notice we talked about that a little bit earlier. And you have to understand how to put the messaging out where it resonates. And so you can monetize your messaging. When you master the message, it positions you as the expert in your field. Anytime anyone posts anything on social media about webinars, who they tagging? Who you think they tagging? They tagging me, right? Because I am known as the expert in that space. And so here's how you really make money. You learn to craft a enrollment close that leaves them asking them, how can I work with you? So I've been working with LaShonda Bracey for quite a while. And so she was struggling with how to price her launching her signature program. And so after working with her and using our launch blueprint, she was able to create a workshop with attendees who turned into clients and ultimately scaled her coaching and consulting business. Based on the results, she's had higher closing rates and been able to earn $20,000 in 1 month with her first launch. And so now she's on the path to accelerate that growth with our acceleration model. All right. So we're wrapping it up. So the last one is Ignite. This is the marketing message. This is your promotional strategy or your marketing strategy. Usually I teach. Oh, I'm like, is that a thunderstorm? Usually I teach 12 ways to market your webinar. But now as social media has evolved, I think our training is about 30. So you got live stream. Like I showed you some earlier. You got live streams. You have podcasts. You have blogs. You have, all social media platforms. So that's the strategy, the promotional strategy that you can use in order to set your marketing strategy where you'll get the most registrations. Then you want to make sure that you have a follow-up sequence that increases your show rate. So what did I say earlier today? Oh, let's make sure that we get our text message out, right? When we get our text message out, it increases our show rate from 40 to 50% every single time. This is the last piece. This is the close, y'all. This is the transformation. Somebody type transformation in the chat. All right. This is where you make money from all of this work. I don't want you out here doing all this work and then you screw up the close. You mess it up. All right. And so the system will work if you work it. So we still after we've done all of this, we still leave money on the table. Let me show you real quick how. Based on those that are watching this, whether you're watching live with me or you're watching the replay, 48% of some of you will never follow up with a prospect. That hurts. 48, if I say we have 50 people registered, 25 people will never follow up with the prospect. Never. And so for some of you all that get out here and do one webinar and say it doesn't work, you can't do that. Some of you all say, I tried it, it doesn't work. Hang on one second. All right. A lot of people tried or attempted one time and then it doesn't work. So 2% of your sales are made on the first contact. Screenshot this. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 10% of your sales are made on the fourth contact, y'all. So just because you don't close them the first time you talk to them, you have to have a solid follow-up process in place. You have to have a solid follow-up process in place. And when you do, you're going to close 80% of your sales on the 5th to 12th contact. That's why a lot of people just keep coming to my webinars and they learn something every single time. All right. So we're going to review, and then I'm going to show you how you can actually put this in place in your business. I'm going to invite you to our monthly membership program. And then there's an opportunity to apply for our upcoming mastermind if you want to accelerate your lead generation and your sales process in your business. So just to review the content that I taught today, it was the profit blueprint method. It was prospecting, understanding who your ideal client is. It was the resolution. What's your offer? That's really what that is. What is your offer? How are you going to optimize your message? How are you going to get your message in front of the masses? Webinars, masterclass. What are you going to use? How are you going to focus your messaging so that you attract your ideal client? And then how are you going to market it to put it in front of your ideal client and then accelerate that process, right? This can work for anyone that has a big message in a small list. It can work for someone that is very confident in the services that you provide for your audience, period. All right. You got to be confident that you can change their life. So webinars have become the top method for my company in generating revenue from the comfort of my own home. I'm just excited that I can wear exercise pants when I do these trainings. I'm excited that I can have socks. I could be barefoot, right? I had to kind of get myself excited to do keynotes now because I have to get dressed up. I have to practice wearing heels. And then, you know, I'm telling you, so this is Crystal Cunningham. She was going live. Like, I remember she was going live. She had like 38, 50 something people on her live. And I was like, girl, you need to monetize your message. Before working with me, she was frustrated with building an audience and selling her signature program. After joining the Webinar Success Blueprint program, she was able to wake up and find a total of 8 people who pay in full for her program. This was week 1 of Webinar Success Blueprint. I think we gave them 1 lesson, right? Because of those results, she's been able to become more confident and challenge herself to grow into another level. She's actually a six-figure, what do you call it? Anthologist. And that's what she does now in her business. And actually, she had 16 people, and she used Zoom before I taught them what platform to use. And the Zoom like dropped her, but the people were waiting for her to log back on. I need you to write this down. There's someone waiting to work with you. There is someone waiting to work with you. All right. So listen, let me ask you a question. Are you enjoying this training? Was this training worth your time? I told you to send me a message if it was not enlightening, insightful, or helpful. All right. So are you ready to take things in your business to the next level? I want you to type in the chat. I'm ready. Type I'm ready in the chat below. Because listen, in order to make this work in your business, you have to believe that people will pay you what you're worth. That's going to be the difference between you charging $497, $47, and $997 or $9,997. Okay. When I started on this journey, I had the ultimate desire to have a global brand and not just a local brand. I wanted to be able to impact the world, not just Virginia. All right. So it's going to be up to you, because some of you all have been in here. You've invested in course after course after course after course, and you haven't started to implement. Dr. Chrissy, I love that Dr. Chrissy said, listen, I jumped into the membership area and I just started to intake all of the information that I possibly could. So that I can get my webinar up and going. So this is perfect for speakers, authors, consultants, and coaches that can benefit from the use of a product launch. So where do I start? All right. So let me see if I can share with you how you can get started. Rose, do you see the offer? I know it's around here somewhere. All right. So we have our Webinar Success Tribe Blueprint. Webinar Success Tribe membership. There we go. Publish. All right. And so on that link, we've got 10 spots that we are enrolling this week. I think we filled one already at the beginning of the week. There you go. Thank you, darling. And so The Webinar Success Tribe membership, it's actually tribe membership now because we're moving into a more holistic, because we're focusing more on lead generation and revenue generation. We do have a very private community of entrepreneurs just like you. There's over 100 hours of content in this membership area, but it's not designed where you just go and sit and watch videos. It is designed for you to start where you are and start to accelerate the path of building out your signature presentation, learning how to get butts in the seat, learning how to monetize, right? And every Tuesday we meet at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Tuesday. The only Tuesday that we do not meet is the fourth Tuesday of the month. And that's because that is the week that everyone is doing a webinar. That's your accountability, you guys. All right. And so what I do is I bring in bonus training, SEO, funding, YouTube. We do Facebook training. We do content marketing training. We're getting ready to do an exclusive invite only, where it's only access to our tribe members. We might have a few spots for some outsiders. It just depends on, will we fill it up with our inside tribe members? So we've got some amazing things coming. I did let them know that we're going to be doing some studio time for our tribe members. I did let them know we're going to be doing a photo shoot coming up when they register for our upcoming event. We do have a private Facebook group, but we use the private Telegram more. And then somebody asked me earlier, how do you specifically get 20 to 50 people? So if you join today, you get the bonus access to how to generate 100 leads in 30 days. So I walk through and I show you how to get leads on every single platform. All right. So if you guys decide that you want to start generating leads in your business, if you decide that you want to generate revenue and you want to automate it, most of my students actually, they love doing the live presentations, but their ultimate goal is to make it evergreen. So we closed someone on an evergreen webinar earlier this week, right? I think they're actually here today. So that's what the ultimate goal is. If you want to put together an evergreen business model, but you first got to do them live first. So if you decide that you want to take that step, the bonus is you're going to get the 100 leads in 30 days training. It's automatically going to be in the system. I'm also going to give you access to how to craft a profitable presentation. This is the exact same training that Candace used that enrolled her first client within 7 days of taking the training. All right. This is the second bonus. Now, if you purchase while we're on now live, two things. If you purchase now, I'll give you access to my training. It's the upgraded version of Webinar Success Blueprint. It's called High Converting Webinar. If you pay in full, not only will you get high converting webinar, but I'm going to give you a 30-minute consultation with me. Write that down. So Rose, if you see a pay in full come through, that's a 30-minute consultation. I charge $2,500 to $3,000 for a 90-minute consultation. So for anyone who pays in full for the entire year, not only will you get access to high converting webinar, you also get a 30-minute session with me. If you do the month-to-month membership, we'll go ahead and give you the high converting webinar access immediate. Like you get immediate access. There's no contract to it. So if you decide that this is not working for you, you can cancel at any time. We just ask that you give us 7 days in advance notice. All right. So this is our tribe membership where we focus on lead generation and revenue generation. It is a family. It is a support. You have access to me. You get a special discount on anything that I do at the tribe membership. Again, our yearly rate is $9.97. Our monthly rate is a freaking $97 a month, y'all. Like, come on, stop playing. All right. And so that is our live offer to become a part of our membership. This is what the screen looks like. Here are some of the topics that we talk about. Remember that 48% of you all would not follow up. So there's a topic, a training on how to effectively follow up, not only for higher show rates, but also to close more, how to promote your webinars, how to monetize your webinars, how to develop the content for your first webinars. A lot of people struggle with developing their content. So this is what the checkout page looks like. All you have to do is go in and enter in your information. Click the Success Tribe membership. There should be an option now to select the paid in full because we updated the page since this particular screenshot. But I always like to show you what you're looking at. So you're like, am I on the right page or not? All right. Some people, when they registered, they said, well, you know, I want to join the monthly membership, but DeKesha, I want to do a webinar in the next 45 days and I want to accelerate that. So I understand that you have a mastermind and I want to apply for the mastermind. So one of my team members has put the link in the chat for the actual upcoming mastermind. You can apply for the upcoming mastermind. Okay. But you got two choices. Either you can continue to try to do it on your own and, you know, you may or may not figure it out. I wish you the best of luck. I'm still going to love you. Please still hang out with me in my Facebook group because I'm always going to continue to give you valuable information. Or you can say, look, cut to the chase. I want to work with an expert, right? I want to work for specifically. Thank you for joining. I want to work specifically with an expert. So let me ask you this, and you can comment in the chat. If the tribe membership helped you generate $5,000 in revenue, would it be worth it to you? If the tribe membership helped you generate $5K in revenue, would it be worth the membership? So you mean you put 1,000 in, you get 5,000 back? Okay. So this is our profit blueprint method. I just like to go through it real quick. Prospects, resolution, optimize, focus, ignite, and transform. Here is LaShonda Bracing. Let me see if I can tap this real quick. And we're going to close out. Oh, it doesn't have sound. That's all right. I'll give you guys the link. She said that the video doesn't have sound. Oh, that stinks because it was a good video. So I don't want to play that one anyway. So I'm gonna see. I can hear it, but y'all can't hear it. Can you hear that one? I don't know if you can hear that one. Can you hear this one? Okay. That's oops. All right. So the videos won't play. It's all good. So that was Lashana and Rob Youngblood. But matter of fact, I'm gonna put them on the webinar registration page so y'all can see them. So I'm gonna open it up for any Q&A. But my name is DeKesha Williams. I hope that this information was truly, I saw confirmational for you, transformational, insightful. So at Vision Consultants, we are passionate about your success. We value your time, your expertise, and your purpose. We strive to see you become profitable. My name is DeKesha Williams, your webinar strategist. Be passionate, be purposeful, but more importantly, be profitable. All right. What questions do you have? Otherwise, we are going to close it out. All right. I think it's getting ready. The offer has officially ended. And so if that's it, I'm going to sign off, y'all. Y'all be good. Thanks so much for joining us today.